Hello. Today I'd like to consider another quote that we often hear, or it's either this quote or it's some variation thereof. And the version of it that I will give as a quote is to say, change is inevitable. You can't fight change. You've got to find a way to roll with it. You can't control the way that the fact that things change. The world is changing all the time. It's not the 1950s anymore, and so on and so on. So, yes, change. Organic change does occur. It sometimes happens, we're always in flux in one way or another. We're not frozen in amber. So as long as we're alive, we're always changing, and that applies to society in general too, since what is society in general? But a bunch of us, right? So it's true that things are always changing, and there's you have to learn to adapt to change. But the disingenuous part of the statement, as it is often implied, is that if you observe that things used to be better in the past in one way or another, then you're hit with, you can't fight change, or you can't live in the past. The good old days weren't always good. Tomorrow ain't as bad as it seems. Although, as I've said it before in another video, fewer people are really trying that line on these days, because in 2024, misery is so widespread that just about everyone, regardless of political affiliation or perspective or anything, just about everyone is miserable. So, in that sense, we've spread the misery around. It's not just those on the bottom of the heap. It's not just those who are ruthlessly exploited and live day to day, meal to meal, who are miserable. Now it's everybody. Isn't that wonderful? So, the problem with this idea that nothing that change just happens, like how did things change? Why did things change from the way they were in the 50s, say in 1954 to 2004 to 2024? It's just progress. Really? Progress? Is that what you're gonna go with? Is that the word you're going to use to represent the changes that we have seen? I agree in some ways progress has been made, but in its totality, I would not say. I think if you look at things in their totality, I would not say it's been progress. Change would not be something that I would characterize as progress. So, what this runs up against is the fact that there are forces out there that have made things change in particular ways. Some change is organic, of course. Some change is inevitable. As I said before, we're always in flux. But there are powerful entities out there who have, have a vested interest in changing things in a particular way, and have set forth to change things in a particular way. And so, it's not just like, things are different now than they were in 1954, because organic change has just, followed its course, and it just had to happen. It was inevitable. No. when you really think about it, there's no real reason why 2024 has to be the way that it is. There's no reason why it had to become, why we had to transform into this this society, this culture, this zeitgeist that nobody seems to want. There's no real reason why that had to happen by necessity. All right, we could have had a transition from 1954 to 2024, which was quite different, and we could have had a 2024 which was quite different from the 2024 that we have, and much, much better than the 2024 that we have. That could have happened too. And I strongly suspect that if these particular powerful moneyed entities didn't push so hard to orchestrate certain changes in our culture, that our culture would be better. It probably wouldn't be perfect, never is, and it would still be changing. And there's always hope for the future, because what they say when there's life, there's hope. There's always life until a species goes extinct, of course. But things can always change, and it changes. It does change. It sounds corny, but it changes with you. It changes with me. It changes with us just deciding not to go along with certain things. It changes with us. It starts with us making conscious choices to do certain things and to avoid doing certain other things. All right. But this whole idea that you're just supine before change, that change is something that just happens, and it's progress, and you're just powerless to fight it. That's learned passivity. Nothing more. Now, in saying that, I'm not saying that one man can change everything. But we do have it in our hands. We do have the power to change ourselves, and to provide a blueprint for others around us to see how we have changed, and if we offer something inspiring for them to see, which I don't know whether I've done that. I don't know whether I would call myself an inspiring person, but if we do manage to inspire those around us and to be lights before men, as the saying goes, then we can affect change. We are more powerful than we may think. So, just in that regard. So, those are my thoughts on change and progress, and the kind of nebulous, bromides that we are that are flung our way frequently, and how to respond to them.